Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Patrick Renvoise on the line, and he's Chief Neuromarketing Officer and Co-Founder over at SalesBrain. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Adam. Nice to be with you.
Oh, likewise, and I'm excited to get into today's topic. So I understand you just launched a new program, your Certified Persuasion Professional, also designation, also known as CPP, and I want to get into that and what that designation means and how people earn it. But before we do that, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing over at SalesBrain. Tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Right. Thank you, Adam. Well, we started about 20 years ago, and we were the first company that jumped into a new science called neuromarketing. So what we do is we help companies grow by using the science of human persuasion, and this science is called neuromarketing.
So for those that aren't familiar with neuromarketing, let's go a little bit further into what that means and how. And I know in a 10 to 15 minute interview, we're not going to have time to get in deep as your work as we could, but let's just to give people a flavor of what that looks like.
Sure. Well, if you think about marketing, traditional marketing is about asking people, what do you want? And then based on the answer of those consumers, we're going to create a product or a service, and then we're going to create a strategy to sell that product and service. But it's all based on what people think they want. But what we came to realize is that people don't know what they want. So, starting about 20 years ago, we used physiological measurement of what people want. In other words, we're going to put people under some kind of instrument, and we're going to measure directly on their bodies various physiological changes. So we ask them the question, what do you want? We don't trust what they tell us. Instead, we measure directly with an EEG, their brain waves, or we measure how their skin changes resistance. We measure how they dilate their pupils. We measure the emotions that they display based on how they track the 43 muscles on their faces. And all these measures give us a much more accurate view about what they truly want. So this is the promise of neuromarketing. Again, we were one of the first one, if not the first company in the world to do this, starting 20 years ago. And on top of that, now we have created a model, a predictable model of what people will end up doing. This model is called NeuroMap, and it's based on the research work of a very famous scientist called Daniel Kahneman. Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in Economy in 2002, and he talks about the fact that Homo sapiens doesn't have one brain when we decide. We actually use two brains, call them System 1 and System 2, and he wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. So in his model, he talks about System 1. In our model, we talk about the primal brain, but the idea is, we, after doing this for 20 years, we became experts in System 1, or what we call the primal brain. In other words, think about the primal brain as being the unconscious. So what we have done is we've created different services that help people better truly understand the deepest motivations of their own customers. And then we teach them how to build a sales and marketing strategy based on that. And of course, the ultimate objective is to help people grow. So our certification program, which we just introduced at the beginning of the year, is now we've reached the stage where our company, has grown enough that we now can train other people to deliver that particular content.
That's awesome, and I think that's also a great transition. So let's go further down that line. So CPP, Certified Persuasion Professional. Tell us a little bit more about the designation.
Well, there are millions of consultants today that are helping other people grow their business. There are, about 40,000 books that have been written on sales, about the same amount of books that have been written on marketing. But none of these people use a scientific model of persuasion. Well, now what we do through this certification is we give a formal training to all these marketing and sales professionals so that they can now use science, not just an empirical model based on their own experience. So the idea is that through this certification, which requires training from those people, they have, a certain number of tasks to do. then they could get that label Certified Persuasion Professional, which guarantee their own customers that they are not buying guru services, they are buying scientific services about, growing the business.
Let's go a little bit further into kind of the course and what that looks like. And the reason I want to do that is because there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, there's a lot of consultants also. I mean, listening that are thinking to themselves right now, like, wow, this could give me that little thing that gives me that edge on the competition and the other things that they're doing. So tell us a little bit more about the layout, length of time, things like that, how it's course delivery. Give us a little bit more there, please.
So first of all, we work only with, tier one consultants. A lot of the people that are working with us, they have, masters in business administration. We have a lot of PhDs on our team. So this is not a certification that works for everybody. A lot of our consultants are also former CEOs or CMOs. So, and this is truly important because, the opposite of what we do is calling ourselves gurus. We are not gurus. We challenge everybody with a scientific model. In fact, we would never tell our customers or our consultant, trust us, that's the way you should be doing. In marketing, a lot of times people tell you, well, our packaging, are we going to do the packaging in green color or red color? And people say, no, we should make it green. But why? If there is really a reason why you should have your packaging in green, then you should be able to express that with a scientific argument, not just an opinion. So we found that, by filtering the type of consultant that can work with us with their past experience or their education is the best way to make sure that we can train those people with our scientific model.
And how long does and if it varies, let us know, but what's the typical length of time for the course delivery? Right.
So first of all, we ask those people to attend a 2-day workshop as a trainee. In other words, they need to experience it from the eyes of their own customers. Now, of course, the timing for launching our program was wrong because we started it on January of this year and we were hit with the virus and we're still wondering now, how soon we're going to be able to travel. So we have created a remote version of it. But the idea is people need to experience what we're talking about for themselves. So in the face-to-face world, that took 2 days. In the virtual world, we are spacing it out with shorter sessions, but there is an initial investment of time, money, and energy a little bit so that people would get the model through the lens of an actual trainee. Then after that, they have to learn our model. They have to read a number of books, which are the scientific foundation for this model. The model, again, is called Neuromap, right? So it's a map that really helps people understand how the brain of their own customers work when they make a decision. So they have to learn all this, and then they have to learn pretty much by heart the script that we have created that help people answer the 4 critical questions that we help customers answer. Because at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, we help people answer 4 simple but critical questions. So the idea is we need to train those people that are going to be certified in understanding why we ask these questions, how important those questions are, what's the best way to ask those questions to their own customers, why they are not going to get the right answer the first time, and how to get to it, right? So it's all the issue of, how do you train a coach on doing something? So
That's
again,
awesome.
No, go ahead.
So, Patrick, that being said, so final question, so 2-part question. If somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about the designation, or if they just want to learn more about maybe SalesBrain and how you can help their company, what's the best way for them to reach out and to follow up? Number 1. Number 2, what are the right types of businesses that you typically like working with? I know we talked about it already on the from the standpoint of the consultant side of things for your for the CPP, but in terms of in general, just businesses you like working with at SalesBrain, what's the right type of businesses you like to work with?
Sure. So first of all, if people want to get more information, they can go on our website. It's w.salesbrain.com. And then in terms of businesses we've worked with, again, over the last 20 years, we've worked with a lot of startups all the way to some of the largest companies in the world. We've done research work for Facebook. We work for Microsoft, General Electric, Epson, etc. And we are completely agnostic of both the size of the companies and the type of markets they are in, because our model of persuasion is universal. So another way to learn more about this is to read our last book. My partner and I co-authored 2 books. The last one is called The Persuasion Code. It's available on Amazon. It's also available in 13 different languages. And in the Persuasion Code, we really reveal Neuromap. So we explain all the scientific nature of Neuromap, and we help people understand the importance of those 4 questions that we ask.
Fantastic. Well, Patrick, really appreciate you coming on the show today and telling us more about what you're doing over at SalesBrain to help companies grow. And also, congrats again on the Certified Persuasion Professional designation that you and your company created. I mean, 20 years in the making. That's no simple feat. So I don't want to glance over that. You've been in this business for a long time, and you truly are a pioneer. So congrats again on getting the designation launched. And I know there's a lot of professionals and consultants out there that are going to benefit from going through your training. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store, and don't forget, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects you're working on. And Patrick, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam. Good day.